welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of August 8th to August 14th. This is a big week in the astrology. There is a super full moon in Aquarius this week, and we also have a few oppositions in the chart that are going to make it, I'm going to say a little bit, bringing up your shadow, right? Helping you to heal, helping you to see the parts of you that are maybe being triggered, or the parts of you that are needing a little bit more support, or maybe you feel like you're being blocked from outside. But again, that's a trigger, trying to figure out why you're being blocked and what's the opportunity now, right? And we also have a planet changing signs. Like, this is a big week in the astrology. So let's get started. All right. So Monday, we start off as into the second quarter phase of the moon, meaning that the moon is gaining in light. This is a time now for the collective. We're feeling more energy, more vigor. We're still in Leo season, which is fire. And again, just a little caveat with, being in a fire season, there is spread of the virus. So we're going to see that COVID is on the rise. We're going to actually hear more cases of monkeypox. And I have a sneaking suspicion that September, October, we're going to have either the pandemic will rear its ugly head again, or something bigger will come back. So maybe monkeypox will be bigger. There's going to be something else kind of coming in to really make us take stock of how much did we learn? How much did we learn? Because the last third of this year is the most intense in the astrology. So I'm just going to warn you now that we are going to go into an intense last quarter of the year. Okay. So just being aware of that, to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and not to get scared, not to go into fear, because you've been through the worst of it already, right? I mean, seriously, the lockdowns and all that stuff, I don't think we're going back to that. I don't know, a possibility, but I think it's quite not as much. The square to Saturn square to Uranus is pretty much done. We're just seeing the little remnants of it this week, and then we're moving into other things at the end of the year. So we're starting out with second quarter phase. There's a building in light, building momentum towards that super full moon in Aquarius on Thursday. On Tuesday, we have a big aspect. We have Venus opposite Pluto, and it's going to be in effect all week, and actually even at the super full moon. So Venus is in Cancer, which is the home, nurturing, intuition. We want to be safe. We want to feel safe. Think of Cancerians as being sort of the home bodies, the nurturers, the really, caregivers, the mothers of the zodiac, if you will. And Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. He is retrograde right now in Capricorn. That is bringing up all the old ish that is holding us in a pattern of stuckness. So think of government policies, think of old doctrines. I think we're seeing that now, with the last week, the Pope's visit to Canada and digging up all of those, residential schools and all of the pains of the past and how people feel about the church and all of that stuff. That's Pluto going through Capricorn, bringing up the past and really breaking up the patriarchy structures. What did we see as authority figures and who are they really? And so Venus and Pluto opposite each other is really what we love and value and how we feel safe, valuing safety over what's the tried and true, the old way tradition. So we're breaking up the tradition, we're breaking up the old, but we're having this challenge to what we love and value. So this can bring up issues with your money. It can bring up issues with your safety and security around money, home, female figures in your life. And really, the download that I'm getting with this is really the women in your life, the karmic past and the karmic cycles that have come down through your mother, and the mother wound is going to be very, very loud at this time. So really it's about the shadow, money, relationships, intense pressures in close relationships. This can bring up power imbalances, highlight power struggles, overcoming your feelings that can feel very dark and heavy at this time. So if you need support around that, there's lots of different practitioners and therapists and psychologists you can call, so you don't have to weather this storm by yourself. if it gets too heavy. But I want you to just really see the light and the darkness as well. What is this highlighting for you? And who would you be without these fears? Who would you be without this idea? And Venus is also what we love and value, and beauty and aesthetic. So it can also feel which way, maybe you can also feel like you're not feeling as good about yourself because you have all these ideas of what beauty and women should look like, and that's not realistic, right? This is asking you to be realistic with your values and with what you love. And on this day as well, that's not really adding anything to this, is Mercury in conjunct Jupiter. So Mercury is our mind in Virgo. It's very critical and discerning, detail-oriented, practical, organized. And Jupiter is retrograde in Aries right now. So this is like, where are your adventures and your ideas for advancement and expansion? Where are you not getting the details right? Where are you kind of forgetting the details maybe to these bigger plans that you have? You might have like, oh my God, I want to be famous one day, but you're like, how do I get there? I don't really know, or I want to be debt free, but then you're not actually doing the things that help you to get debt free. So these two aspects together it is a helper, but in the day it could feel like real shit. So again, seeing the opportunity in it, there's always a positive and a negative to every aspect. The positive to this is you can see that there is big plans and goals ahead. And if you haven't achieved them yet, there is something that needs tweaking. That's it. That's it. Everything you want is for you. It is eventual. It is meant for you. It is inevitable that you are going to get what you want. It is just about getting the details right, so that each step of the way you're tweaking a little bit, so that you're making sure that your trajectory is still on track for being debt-free. It's on track for having a strong body, being on track for being in a relationship that really gives back to you, being on track with healing the past so that you can really live a joyful future. All of those things are possible for you. But these two aspects are saying, where do you feel like you're not enough? Where do you feel like you're not being wise with your resources and your money, Venus? And how can you bring more safety to yourself by healing your shadow, healing your traumas, healing your past, while still making plans and making sure those details for those plans are not getting missed, if you will. So nice light week, right? Thursday, we have two aspects that are very big. One is Venus moves into Leo. So Venus moving into Leo is love is magnificent. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. So it's moving from Cancer into Leo, and Cancer is so at Venus in Cancer is, I want to be loved. I want to be nurtured. I want to have relationships with people who make me feel safe. I want to be at home. I want to curl up on the couch and watch TV. I want someone to snuggle me. And Venus in Leo is, I want to have sex. I want to be passionate. I want to be bold. I want to come out looking like J-Lo. J-Lo is Venus. It's Leo. Want to like looking good and fine, feeling good and fine. I want to be adored. I want to be recognized. I want to be acknowledged, right? So this is going to bring passion and fire to the collective. So it's going to, add a little bit of fieriness to people's maybe attitudes of it, where you're more prone to getting into confrontation because you feel slighted. But really the best way to express this, Leo, is to have fun and to feel good and to start doing things for yourself that make you feel good. So I had COVID. Yes, I had COVID on my vacation. I had days where I did not wear any makeup. I did not have anything, that I was just like sitting in bed and I felt like crap. And then as soon as I had to get stuff done and I was like, okay, I'm going to feel better, I came home and I was like, I got work to do, put on my makeup, did my hair, washed my hair, got dressed up, and man, I feel so much better, right? Sometimes it's in those moments that you kind of just make yourself feel better by looking better, because when you look better, you feel better. That then is the medicine. So Leo in Venus, or Venus in Leo, is helping us to really feel our best, look our best. This is romantic. This is extravagance. This is expressive and proud. This is a great story. Well, Mercury is storytelling, but Venus in Leo helps with flamboyancy and like the movements of um, adoration, drama. So some of the negatives of Venus and Leo is it can be excessive drama. There can be more egocentric behavior and thinking. And there can also be feelings that, me, which is not a bad thing. I guess we need self-care and we need to be selfish in terms of self-full. Maybe that's better, but not at the expense of being inconsiderate. I mean, there's a line there with being considerate versus I want it all and I don't care about you. So, there's a fine line there with Venus and Leo that's going to come up. The other thing is when you feel like you're not being acknowledged, you can really feel like angry. It can be lashing out. So that acknowledgement of self, where do you need to feel acknowledged? Why do you feel you need to be acknowledged? And who do you need to feel acknowledged from? And where does that go back to in your childhood? Who didn't acknowledge you in your youth? And where are you projecting that now? So there's a lot of healing to go along with that. The other thing with Leo, Venus and Leo, is overindulgence. Leos know nice quality men. They know nice food. They know nice drinks. They know nice clothing, and they can spend money. And so this season is one to watch your pennies and to be careful with your budget, not to go overboard in buying all the outfits and having all the experiences and, going to, the example is going to the club and doing bottle service and then coming home and getting the bill later and like, oh, I lived like a Leo, but now I gotta spend like a Leo. So just being aware of that. On the same day, so Venus goes into Leo at 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and in the evening at 7:36 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that's 9:36 in the east and 6:36 on the west coast. There's a super full moon in Aquarius. Oh my goodness. So super full moon is when the moon is closest to the earth. So that's going to be, we're going to have higher tides. We're going to have lots of emotions are going to be running high. And the moon is in Aquarius. So the sun is in Leo, right? They're opposite each other. They're the opposites of the zodiac. And this axis is really about my talents versus how I use my talents to help the collective. So Leo is my talents, my abilities, my unique voice. How do I do things only I know how to do, and doing them wonderfully and doing them with joy and happiness, and then bringing that joy and happiness of my purpose and passion out into the collect to help humanity elevate. That's Aquarius. So this axis is all going to be about me and we, right? How are we helping each other? And how are you really shining your unique light so that you can help others? So Aquarius is about community, how we're helping humanity, how we're elevating each other. It's about being there with each other. It's intellectual. Man, it is a stimulating intellectual sign. And one of the downfalls it can be in Aquarius is righteousness, right? I know better than anyone. You should follow me. You are not good enough. You are not doing it. So judgment, righteousness, really it being turned up too loud is kind of churning those values into a weapon. And when Aquarius is turned down too low, it's feeling like, humanity doesn't get me. Right? I'm sitting in this puddle of everyone's out to get me and no one cares and no one understands. And look at this, everyone's for themselves. And Aquarius turned up just right as I'm going to be a voice of change in the world. Right? And being that out into the world, not just conceptually being it in your mind, being it out into the world. So this full moon is asking you, what seeds did you plant back in, when was it? It was January. I remember writing it down. I will find that as I talk. Where did you plant the seed? February 1st, 2021 was the new moon in Aquarius. So what seed did you plant in February 1st of this year? If you go back to your calendar, what were you doing? Maybe you wrote your intention for that new moon there. How has that come to fruition here? Because what's happening here in this new moon is a very, I'm going to say, triggering aspect of this moon. So we have the sun and moon, which is already an intense aspect. The sun being our egoic side, who we feel we are individuality. And then the moon is our intuition, our feminine, divine feminine self. And it's already in this fiery place of like, maybe I don't feel acknowledged. Maybe I'm not feeling like I'm really being valued, or I don't know what my purpose and passion is. And the Aquarius is like, well, you got to be helping out. And if you're watching this, you are likely a helper. You are likely someone who likes to be of service, who wants to help others, who is who is a genuinely good person. And so this axis is going to be bringing up for you, how are you helping others and how do you allow others to help you? That's another part of that. Now, with the sun in Leo and the moon in Aquarius, I think I might have said that backwards earlier, the moon is sitting with Saturn. Now, Saturn is about restriction, scarcity, fear, responsibility, structure, doing the right thing, right? It's John Law. And so Saturn in Aquarius has been in here since the beginning of 2020, and there was a conjunction with Aquarius. No, there was a square to Aquarius, and that square to Aquarius has been this thing that's been bringing up. This is the last hurrah of that square. So thank God, because it's kind of bringing up Saturn is restriction, Aquarius is freedom. Saturn is the rules, regulations. Aquarius is let's think outside the box. Let's have different solutions for things. So the beauty of this, and I truly see the beauty of it, but it really is, it does suck when you're in it, is that Saturn, COVID being the example, right? Saturn was about restrictions and lockdown. We had to have that lockdown to understand what is going on in the world. But with that restriction came advents in technology, Aquarius, but Uranus rules Aquarius, which is interesting. So there was new technology came about, and Aquarius in Taurus is about the Earth's resources. Excuse me, Earth's resources. So when we had that lockdown, what happened? Everybody stopped going out, stopped using gas, stopped polluting the Earth. The Earth started to renew itself. Dolphins came back to certain places where it was too congested with boat traffic. The environment started to clear up. Like unbelievable things happened with Mother Nature and the Earth when we had those lockdowns and restrictions. So yes, that restriction was there, and it sucks, as from a human standpoint and people with businesses and mental health, and there was a lot of cost to that. That's why it's a square, right? There's crisis and challenge in it. But then the other side of it was it started to open up this need for technological advance, this need to understand that the environment needs more of our support, and we need to really accelerate our climate change initiatives. So the squares are bringing up these things that need to happen. What I keep hearing is scarcity is creating ingenuity, right? It's the mother of invention. So we're starting to see these new technologies and stuff start to emerge from this square, which is pretty cool, right? But it sucks when you're in it. So it's like the challenge that becomes the lesson that helps you to catapult into your greatness. So this full moon is really highlighting this, control the past, where we feel like, centralization, let's control and put everything together so we know what's happening. And I think we're still seeing that with healthcare. So we're going to see, I think this week and coming into this week and into next week and into September, where healthcare is going to be a big, big challenge. Because Saturn in Aquarius is how are we creating, like it's Medicare, it's healthcare for everyone. How are we looking after everyone? And Uranus is squaring those in Taurus we don't have enough resources. We're seeing that right now in Canada, where people are dying in emergency rooms because we literally don't have enough staff. People are so burnt out from the pandemic, and we have such shit policies in healthcare that they're not retaining good people, and people can't graduate enough to get in and replenish. Like there's just so much politics in healthcare that it's killing us, literally, right? So we're starting to see that square is going to really come to a head this week. So the square in Uranus and Taurus, Uranus is not just sitting by itself in Taurus. This is also happening right now. It's going to be in effect for quite some time, for quite a little bit, actually. It's Mars, Uranus, and the North Node are traveling together. Mars will leave the party, but Uranus and the North Node are going to move together. This has not happened in 2,000 years. It doesn't happen very often. So to have the North Node is our karmic destiny. Where are we going as a collective towards? And Taurus is about our resources, climate, the earth, banking, money, the things that we value, structures, right? So when we have this aspect of this square, this can lead to more earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, disruptions in the earth, if you will. And to have these three coming together, it's really trying to help us move into a future that is more secure is the word I'm looking for, secure, because it's breaking up the old foundations to create stronger, bigger structures. So, are we taking care of the earth, climate change, things like that? So this square, and Mars is sitting there as well. And Mars isn't quite as close, but he's still part of the square to the sun and moon. So this is going to be bringing up really, where do you feel like, are you allocating your resources to helping you move forward into your passion and purpose? Or are you moving and using your resources to just have a good time in the moment? Or are you contributing to bad habits that are keeping you from your passion and purpose because you're scared of what you have to be and do if you do live your purpose? Those are some big questions. And maybe I hope that you can ask yourself some of those and go, there is a fear, because if I do live in my purpose, then people are going to expect me to know everything about a topic. I don't know everything about astrology. I know a lot about astrology, but there are people that know a hell of a lot more about astrology than I do. And I'm a certified astrologer. There are people that have lived this life for 50 years. My teacher was like 50 years she had lived astrology. And I'm like, I can hope one day to know a 10th of what she knows. I know a lot about it, but I'll never know everything about it. And I'll continue to learn about it, but that doesn't hold me back from sharing this and helping you with your week. Right? So where do you feel like, if I don't know enough, I can't share? I can. If you have something to contribute, then contribute it, right? Just make sure that you're doing it with integrity. So Sunday, we have two aspects on Sunday that also are an intense day. So we've got the full moon on Thursday with Venus moving into Leo on Thursday. And then Sunday, we have the sun opposite Saturn. So sun opposite Saturn now, that was already in effect in the full moon, but now it's exact on Sunday. So it's kind of like 2 or 3 degrees away. And that Sunday aspect of sun opposite Saturn is, again, restriction. We want to be free to do, but we can't. We want to shine our light, but we've got to make sure we take care of the kids. It's like, I want to go and have fun with my friends, but I got to make sure I have dinner on the table for my kids before I go. My kids are teenagers, so, and yeah, they can cook for themselves, but, they're not going to cook nutritious meals like I will. So, where can I maybe let go of some of those responsibilities? Or where can I, feel like I'm overcoming a limitation in my life? This also can be it always is a right timing aspect. This isn't trying to hold you back from something. This is trying to make sure that you're doing things right. Saturn is about responsibility and doing things the right way. And your sun is trying to expand and be in Leo, it's shiniest, happiest self and have fun, but you can't let go of your responsibilities too. So if if this Venus in Leo on Thursday, if you went out and spent a bunch of money, now you're going to be like, oh, why did I spend all that money? So this is kind of Saturn's a taskmaster saying, are you doing it the right way? Because if you do it the right way, it will last a long time and you will be able to help as many people as you can, right? There's no shortcuts in this lifetime. And then the other aspect on this day that's really helpful, it can be helpful and it may not be, is that it's Mars trine to Pluto. This is like, get stuff done. Mars is our passion or desire and motivation, and Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. Retrograde in Capricorn. So this is really helping you to create stronger structures in your life that are going to really make things go. So you are very motivated. You want to be ambitious, achieving your desires. This can be very good for like leadership, great for sex, overcoming obstacles, great for research and problem solving, getting to the heart of a matter. And because Pluto's in retrograde, this is really digging deep to the heart of the matter. What structures need to change now? So this day, if you're using this energy and vitality to try to like go out and get things done and clearing your house, that would be a really good idea. A really great thing to do on Sunday for this would be gathering all the things in your house that you're no longer using and putting it on Kijiji or having a garage sale and selling it all. Because the obstacle here could be money. It could be that you have all this clutter in your house that you don't actually need. Get rid of it, move it to people who do need it, or donate it to Goodwill, right? Get it out of your house. So that'd be a really great way to use this energy on Sunday. All right, so wishing you a transformational, amazing week. As a recap, we're moving into the second quarter moon at the beginning of the week on Monday. Tuesday, we have Venus opposite Pluto, making things very intense with what you love and value and close relationships. Also, Mercury is in conjunct to Jupiter. Your mind needs to detail orient to make sure that you're not glossing over the fine print in your big ideas and schemes. Thursday, Venus goes into Leo, making you passionate, fiery. We want to be seen. We want to look good and feel our best. We want to be acknowledged. We want recognition. And we really, really, really want to just have a good time. So be careful not to overspend, and be careful that you don't get a little bit sensitive, triggered when you're not acknowledged for some of the things that you do for others. And then the full moon is happening a few hours later. And this full moon is a super full moon in Aquarius. It's bringing up, where are you holding yourself back from your passion and purpose, and where are you not using your resources wisely? And then Sunday, the sun opposite to Saturn. This is bringing up where you feel restricted and inhibited, but it's the right timing aspect to make sure that you're doing things the right way and you're taking care of details yet again. And Mars trying to Pluto on this day is giving you the energy to get deep, to research, to do your due diligence, problem solving, clear the clutter, sell all the things that you don't need on Kijiji, make that money, and so you can have the best Leo season ever. Wishing you a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Please post in the comments below what you enjoyed with this video. I will see you next week.